Okay, I am so excited for this topic because we all know that AI is disrupting business and marketing in really big, massive ways right now. And as a solo business owner, you and I both know that we only have so many hours in a day to dedicate to just running the business, let alone learning and implementing these new changes. Plus, when you consider that, if every other business, especially like every other business in your niche or industry, is just kind of like flipping the AI switch and saying, heck yeah, let's just run on AI now, they are going to be more efficient and more effective. They're going to be able to reach more people. So, how do you keep up? How do you grow your business and stay authentic and real and human in whatever future the AI brings us without turning everything that you create into AI slop, that nobody wants or needs? So today I want to share with you how I'm integrating AI and automation into my business, into the day-to-day of my business, so that I can keep my lean team, my lean business, stay human, and, essentially keep connecting with other humans in my business, because that's the way that I see AI functioning for me, is allowing me, giving me the bandwidth and the space to actually connect with and communicate with other humans in my business through my programs and through my membership in Video Brand Academy. So let's dive into it here inside Video Brand Infusion. If you're new here, my name is Meredith, and I'm here to help you infuse the best video marketing strategies into your business so that you can build a thriving video brand. I am at that point where I am using AI every day, and really legitimately all day, because I have automations that function for me. And I've been obsessed with AI since ChatGPT came out. So I've been using it on my own. I've been using it in my business, and honestly, I'm fascinated by it. But it has taken me probably like the last 6 months or so to really kind of wrap my head around the capabilities of, and like what's possible if you think outside the box. And I think it's really important, like for the longevity of our businesses, to not just to like think outside the box, but like look outside the box, because there's a lot of stuff I think headed our way that it's going to be a lot harder to stay in business if we don't embrace it. So there are 5 main kind of areas or focuses when I think of AI right now as it pertains to business and marketing. I mean, a lot of what I'm talking about is going to be like marketing. Number 1 is discoverability. You've probably heard the term SEO, search engine optimization, and more we are hearing about GEO, generative engine optimization. And I'm fascinated by this because I've always been an SEO person. That's really how I started my channel. Was I applied what I knew about SEO for websites and blogs. I applied that to YouTube, and it worked. And it still works. But what's fascinating to me is AI has sort of introduced the idea that SEO is going away because people are just going to go to ChatGPT to get their answers. And ChatGPT has scraped the content of the internet to a level that it's able to provide those answers without sources or link backs. And it's a big problem in the blogging world. It's a huge problem. There are people that have like genuinely lost their entire livelihood, really. they were bloggers, full-time bloggers, and they're just not able to get the same level of revenue because they're not getting the traffic, because, Google's AI summary feature is just giving people answers that they're searching for and no one's going to their site. And what I have seen here on YouTube is that that's not really a problem. That's not really a problem, at least in my niche on my channel. In fact, the other day I was looking at my analytics. I went to look, and you can do this too on your channel. Go to advanced analytics and pull up your external traffic sources. You're probably going to see google.com as your number one traffic source. Of the videos that I have published this year, ChatGPT is the number 2 external traffic source. That means actual traffic is being sent to my videos from ChatGPT. And it's a far, far, far cry from google.com at number 1. And we are only talking about external traffic sources. So that's like after the YouTube algorithm and after YouTube search, then it's external for me and for most people. ChatGPT is like way down at the bottom. But a few months ago, it didn't even exist there. It wasn't even on the map. So it's like just barely measurable, but it's measurable. It's there. And in my mind, that's a really big deal. That tells me that ChatGPT isn't just scraping content and delivering it to users with no link back and no source attribution at all. It tells me that actually people are finding me by starting their search or their information gathering on ChatGPT. Google has recently said that what they are looking for, the Google algorithm, the search algorithm, is looking for in terms of like the new version of SEO is not so much, on-page SEO where like the title is very optimized and the description or the intro is optimized, and then you have these optimized like headings. And it's not so much about this like one and done SEO on page optimization. It's more about the overall body of work of the person who's creating that content. And what's interesting is that's not new. That's actually not new when it comes to SEO. It's certainly not new when it comes to GEO either, because Google for years now has talked about what they look for with SEO is experience, expertise, authority, and trustworthiness, EEAT. Google has been saying for years that if you're a content creator, if you're a blogger, particularly, that's what they want your content to sort of answer to, is like, are you an expert? Do you have experience? Are you trustworthy? And are you an authority on this? It's not just like, were you able to optimize the title better than everybody else? And I think that's a good thing. Like it's a good thing that these platforms want to platform content and content creators that it has decided is trustworthy and authoritative. And so what Google said recently is that it's not just looking for on-page SEO, it's looking at an overall sort of body of work from somebody, not just what's on the page, but what topics are tied to that person's name or brand name on YouTube, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on a blog, on a website, on all the platforms. Is there cohesivity in these topics attached to your name or your brand name? That's what Google has said that it is using to kind of figure out or decide, if you do have experience, if you do have expertise, if you are trustworthy, and if you are an authority on these topics. And it makes sense to me that the AI tools are going to use that same kind of a sort of rubric, if you will, to determine what content or what information to put in front of people who are using the platforms, using ChatGPT to learn something or solve a problem. So what does this have to do with AI in my business? First of all, I've never been so relieved to have a YouTube channel, to have a YouTube channel tied to my name with my topics that in and of itself on YouTube are a body of work tied to my name. And if you've been dragging your heels at creating a YouTube channel, I don't know what else to tell you. YouTube is, of course, the most powerful way to build your audience online. But not only that, putting long form content out there on your topics that you're an expert on, that you're an authority on, that you have experience in, it's so simple. The way I see it is not just about growing your audience on YouTube. It's putting your content in your name on YouTube. It's about building a body of work, about building a library of binge-worthy videos that is tied to your name. And more than just building your audience and generating leads and generating revenue, which, don't get me wrong, I love talking about, this is how you maintain your discoverability or increase your discoverability overall on platforms outside of YouTube. It's all part of generative engine optimization, GEO. So that as somebody's using ChatGPT to search up something that you're an expert in, ChatGPT is able to say, oh, so-and-so says XYZ, 1, 2, 3, blah, blah, blah. Here's the source. Here's the link to their YouTube channel. And now they're in your spider web. They're in your world. You're in their algorithm. So if you already have a YouTube channel, congratulations. Good job. So smart of you. Some of the ways that I am leveraging AI outside of YouTube to continue kind of building out my body of work and my discoverability for generative engine optimization, GEO, to keep GEO in mind, but also just to connect with other human beings on the platforms. I've always been a YouTube person. I never really embraced Instagram. I'm just kind of there just to be present. I've been loving Threads lately. And so I take my videos, in particular my video podcasts, which are long form. It's not like a how-to tutorial. I'm not showing you my screen. I'm just talking to the camera. I have been taking those and using AI to repurpose my thoughts from those videos into threads. Sometimes the prompt I'm using is perfect and it writes threads that sound exactly like something I would write. Other times not so much and I have to edit them. But what I do is I take the ones that work or I edit the ones and I throw those into Buffer. And so after I publish a video podcast, once it's done, it's edited, I take the transcript, I drop that into a prompt. Now, I am a big enough nerd that I'm using ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. So sometimes I'll drop it into all three of those. I have a custom GPT or a project for each of those platforms specifically for writing my threads. So I'll drop my transcript into there and see what they come up with. Copy, paste, add them to Buffer. And then I go into Buffer and hit shuffle queue. Is one of the most satisfying things to know that I'm present on the platform of Threads with my own thoughts. And I actually do post quite a bit on my own, with my own thumbs without AI. But I also have been doing a similar thing, but with a different prompt, in taking my transcript and turning it into a LinkedIn post. Now, LinkedIn is like my least favorite platform. I open it up and I'm like, ugh, what is this? However, I've made some really good connections over there. And so using Buffer, I do the same thing. I let Claude, usually does the best job at this. I let Claude write a post for me based on something that it extracted from my transcript. I edit it a little bit here and there, and then I put it into Buffer and I shuffle my Buffer queue. So I'm active on LinkedIn and I'm active on Threads. I'm putting those in air quotes, but like the reality is I am active there because I get notifications, I get comments, I get likes, and I get people who are like adding to the discussion, and it's fun for me because the content that I'm posting there is coming from me. I'm just using AI to help augment it so that it is like purposefully crafted for that platform. If I had to go to LinkedIn 2 times a week and write a post from scratch, I wouldn't do it. That's why my LinkedIn account was like basically dormant for 5 years until I went in and kind of like rehabbed it a little bit. I just wasn't there because it wasn't interesting enough for me to go there to create content for that. Depending on how you feel about it, you might say, well, isn't that just creating AI slop, Meredith? Like, come on. But it's coming from my long form content. It's coming from my viewpoint that, I'll be honest with you, is as much as I have my content creation workflow down, especially for these video podcast episodes, it's not like I do this in my sleep, right? I come up with my topics. I come up with the thoughts that I have that I want to say and figure out how to communicate them to you. And I hit record and I edit the video and I publish the video. The creation of the content itself is not AI. It's me. It's coming from my brain. The AI helping me repurpose it and essentially like augment it for the different platforms is simply there to assist me so that I can be active on those platforms. And not just be active on those platforms, but show up with those thoughts, with the content, with the expertise and the experience that I have to share. As a solo business owner, this is huge because you can't be everywhere, right? Like you can't do everything. And I know that some people are. I will admit, some people are legitimately everywhere. That's not me. And one thing I want to mention too is something I've always done since day one of me starting this channel is every video I've ever created gets turned into a blog post. That has always happened. And over time, it's gotten easier and easier with AI. Like even before ChatGPT, we were using AI to kind of create a draft, create an outline, kind of like take the video-ish language out and turn it into something that's readable. And we still have a human doing that. I have a virtual assistant who does that for me, but she's working from a blog post draft that's created with AI. But again, it's not just AI slop. It's from my own thoughts, and I'm using a prompt that I created to generate a blog post, with an output that I would want it to be. We're not just hitting a button and saying, turn that into a blog post and we're on our merry way. The second area of focus for AI for me in the business is automating and kind of like using AI to help assist with like internal stuff. So you heard me mention that I'll take a transcript, I'll drop it into Claude, it will turn into a LinkedIn post. That's there to assist me with getting my content out there, with reaching more human beings. Now, internally, I've had automations kind of happening behind the scenes in the business in lots of different ways, like with, Zapier is connected to my Kajabi and my Thrive cart. So when somebody joins Video Brand Academy, they automatically get added to it and get the right emails and all of that stuff. Like that's kind of like basic automations that have been happening behind the scenes for a little while, long while, like, I don't know, 5-6 years maybe for me. But I also have a growing collection of custom AI tools that I created with MindPal, which I'll get to in a moment, that we use internally. Like, for example, every month inside of Video Brand Academy, I do a What's Working Now call, like a What's Working Now on YouTube meetup, where I share something I'm seeing, like a trend that I see emerging, or just something that I've been trying, something new that's working. And then we talk about how you can apply it to your channel, and we go into questions and whatnot of like, how can you actually implement this on your channel? And I created an AI tool. I did this in MindPal. This could be done as a custom GPT or a Claude project or a Gemini gem, that basically just takes my idea. All I have to do is riff on my idea. I will riff on that out loud, usually drop it into the tool, and it will make a coherent post about the topic that we can schedule the meetup. This is the topic. These are the things we're going to cover. And then like the reminder posts and the email and all of that stuff. So the copy for that gets written by AI, but it came out of my head. I just didn't have to like sit down and organize my thoughts. Although usually I do sit down and organize my thoughts before the call happens, but 2 or 3 weeks ahead of when the call happens is when we have to start like putting it in the calendar and scheduling it inside of Video Brand Academy. So this little tool can help me just take that seemingly random abstract idea and make sense out of it. And then I have another tool for after our meetups where Karen, my community manager, can take the transcript of the meetup, throw it into this custom MindPal GPT basically, and it will summarize everything we talked about on the call. Like that's not even really that magical. Like any transcription software will do that. But because I created it in MindPal and it's programmed by me, it's going to give me the output in the way that I want it, so that it's not AI slop and it's programmed by me. It's an internal tool that we're using internally, and it not only makes things more efficient, it takes something off of my plate. So it's like the output is still written in my words because I trained it, but Karen is the one that's like looking at the draft and editing it and then posting it. And I just recently learned about this tool called Relay that is kind of an internal automations type of software. I don't even know how to explain it, but it looks really cool. And I think what I'm seeing that I can do is so in line with being a solo business owner, or even just a small business owner with a small team. I think it's going to be huge, and other apps like that are going to be huge, where things are actually automated, not just like, oh, here's a custom GPT that I can paste something into and then copy and paste the results out to go do something with. These internal automation tools are fascinating to me for a solo or small business owner. I wish I had more to say about that, but like I'm kind of just diving into it. So the third area that I have been focusing on, and I've been focusing on this quite a bit this year, is how can AI tools, custom GPTs be integrated into digital products, courses, and programs. And this is, I think, one of the biggest areas of opportunity if you're a course creator or a coach or a membership site owner. It's an opportunity because I think it won't be long before your clients and customers will expect tools, whether they're, made with AI or whether they utilize AI. It kind of depends a little bit, I think, on the niche and the topic and everything. But when I think about my own membership, Video Brand Academy, like I just recorded I think I called it the Ultimate Thumbnail Masterclass. And it's like everything I know about thumbnails. And it's actually like once I started recording it, it became more of like a mini course with multiple lessons. And there's probably, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours of video, of instructional video. And I mean, you could watch it, you could watch 90 minutes of it and learn a lot. But you have to create thumbnails and kind of do your experiments and look at your data to really learn it. Or I could create an AI tool where you put in your title and the topic and the things you're going to be covering, and it just makes a thumbnail for you. Like, again, I it's hard to believe that wouldn't just be AI slop. I've seen a lot of AI generated thumbnails lately that are really good. Like, they're fine. They're not slop. They're actually really good. At the very least, though, we can use AI to make a sketch of a thumbnail, an idea for a thumbnail for somebody who's not a designer, for somebody who doesn't have 10 years of experience on YouTube making thumbnails, testing thumbnails. We can at least come up with some ideas, and AI can actually sketch them out as images that you go and create in your own Canva project or your own Adobe Express project. How much more effective is that for my clients and customers than watching a 90-minute training on how to make thumbnails and then still at the end of the day not really know how to make a decent thumbnail, because you still have to actually make the thumbnail and test your thumbnails and look at the data and like learn what works for you and your channel. I haven't made an AI tool that can do that, but if I didn't have anything else to work on in my business, you better believe that's what I would be working on like right now. And again, it's not just AI slop. It's not just, you can go to ChatGPT and say, make a thumbnail for this video. ChatGPT is not a YouTube strategist. It's not a thumbnail designer. It might make something halfway decent, but like when you're using YouTube to build your business, you are probably not looking for halfway decent. You're probably looking for, this is me establishing my authority, my expertise, and my experience so that I establish my trustworthy brand, my go-to video brand online, right? You're not looking for halfway decent thumbnails. So again, I think it depends on the niche. I think it depends on the topic. If I have a whole course on video editing made easy, I'm not going to create, there already are tools and software that can supposedly edit your video with AI. I'm not going to create a tool that can edit for you. There's probably not, there's a couple of ideas that I have for custom GPTs and embeddable AI tools that would go along with video editing made easy. But if you're going to learn how to edit videos, like you have to just learn how to edit the videos. There's not much AI is going to do for you. But earlier this year, I ran my 90 days to 1K YouTube subscribers boot camp in the membership. And like right at the same time, I was starting to use MindPal. And MindPal is like, what is MindPal? With MindPal, you can create multi-agent workflows. You can create custom chat bots, as many as you want. You can embed them inside of your paid programs. Like you just like embed it into a Kajabi lesson. That's what I did. And so I started using MindPal to kind of program my own agents, my own GPTs, basically. using whatever model I want, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok if I wanted to, Perplexity if I wanted to, all of the different models. I can create my own agents and embed them. And so when I was running the 90 Days to 1K YouTube subscriber boot camp, I thought, oh, wait, like I'm telling these people where to find their keywords. What if I just built a keyword tool? So I used MindPal to build a keyword tool. You don't have to pay for vidIQ or TubeBuddy if you don't want to. If you're inside of Video Brand Academy, I created a keyword tool for you that it's connected to Google's keyword data using an MCP. And then, of course, I'm teaching people how to write effective titles. But what if I created a tool where you just tell me what your topic is and the tool gives you 50 different title options and different flavors of titles, if you will. Some of them are a little more tabloid headline-ish. Some are a little bit longer, more descriptive. Some of them are a little bit polarizing. You get to kind of choose your flavor and find what works for you. Yes, you should learn how to write an effective YouTube title, but you can also just use my tools inside of Video Brand Academy and let it either write the title for you or give you a bunch of really good ideas as a starting point as you write your title on your own. So once I realized how easy it was to use MindPal to create chatbots and workflows that are trained by me and trained on the material that I teach inside of Video Brand Academy, I was like, okay, we got to create a bunch more of these. I have like a dozen-ish inside Video Brand Academy. They're actually inside of their own Kajabi product. So Video Brand Academy has we have the community, we have the portal, which is like all of the content, the core content for the program itself. And then there's another Kajabi product of just my AI tools. There's a chatbot in there that's trained on everything inside of Video Brand Academy. So you can post in the group looking for help, or you could come to a meetup and ask me, or any day, anytime, you can open up that chatbot, pick Meredith's brain, and see what the chatbot says. It's trained on everything that I've taught inside of the program. So it might get you an answer or at least some ideas or send you in the right direction a lot faster than just waiting for me to respond or waiting for the next meetup. If you want to see a really good example of this, if you go and download the Video Brand Academy app, which is a free download in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, log in, you can go to the Analyze My Channel. I created this with MindPal. If you just click this, it'll load up. You put in 2 screenshots of your YouTube channel. It works on your phone. It'll analyze your channel for you. That is a multi-agent workflow that I created with MindPal that I trained from my brain and then created with MindPal, embedded it in my app. It's available for free. I'll put a link to that down in the description below this video if you want to check it out. And last week I was interviewed and featured on MindPal's YouTube channel where we basically went on a deep dive into some of the tools and things that I have built with MindPal that I have inside of Video Brand Academy. So you can check that out. I'll put a link to that down below as well. Because if you're thinking, okay, that sounds great, but I don't want to use another tool. Like I don't want to learn MindPal. You could use custom GPTs. Lots of people are doing that. Like I have joined a couple of different programs in the last 6 months where there's the content of the program and then, oh yeah, and here's the GPT. You can just put in what you need to put in and it will do the work for you basically. And that's all well and good, but just to give you a real life example of why you might want to create custom GPTs, tools, and things that you actually embed on your own site behind your own paywall. I joined a membership a couple of months ago. I went through the material. He had 2 custom GPTs to go along with the material. I used them. I saved them to the sidebar of my chat GPT. And I'm not in the membership anymore, but I still have access to the GPTs because it's just a custom GPT. Like, that's all it is. So it's a great tool. It's very useful for your clients and students, to provide that kind of tool for them. But if you have a membership or, a program that has like a start date and an end date, with custom GPTs, you're just kind of giving those tools away. I will say that I love the idea of using a custom GPT as a lead magnet, but I think people are doing it wrong. I think people are thinking about custom GPTs as a lead magnet wrong. Wrong is a strong word. I just think this is what I mean by thinking outside the box and like looking outside the box. Was it Wayne Gretzky that said, skate where the puck is going? This is what I'm thinking. Let me run this by you. This is what I'm thinking about lead magnets and custom GPTs and using or creating an actual custom GPT in ChatGPT, specifically in ChatGPT, and using this as a lead magnet. Most people I have seen, every single ChatGPT, custom GPT lead magnet that I have seen works like this. You put in your email address and I will give you a link to my custom GPT. And once you have my custom GPT, it's yours for life. Like, take it and run. I'll never see you again, right? You just gave me your email address to get a link. Now you have the link and now you're gone. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a great kind of first step of utilizing AI and custom GPTs in your business as a way of generating leads. The way that I have been thinking about it, and you can help me run this experiment because I'll put a link to this down in the description. What if you create a custom GPT that does something specific that your ideal customer, your ideal client would find insanely useful, like extremely valuable, so useful that they pin it to their ChatGPT sidebar and actually use it consistently. What I see a lot of people doing is creating a custom GPT that's like a one and done. You give me your email address, I'll give you the GPT. You do this one little exercise and then you never have to use the tool again. And I'm sure that serves a purpose. That does serve a purpose, right? It definitely does. But what if you created something that's so useful that they keep returning to it, that they keep returning to your GPT to actually use? And what if you trained that custom GPT to direct the user to the appropriate opt-in for them, for whatever it is? This is very abstract because it's like, whatever it is it's doing, XYZ, 1, 2, 3. For example, I created a custom GPT, which I will link to below, called YouTubeify Your Business. And you can access it, you can use it, you don't have to give me your email address. You can save it to your sidebar. And when you're stumped on what to do on your channel next, or how to integrate a YouTube funnel on your channel so you can generate consistent sales. If you want to basically pick my brain about what your next move is to grow your business with YouTube, to YouTubeify your business, you can go to my custom GPT. It's not trained on everything inside a Video Brand Academy. It's trained on a lot of material that I use to teach my clients and students. It's not trained on everything, but I created it with the idea of like, how could this be so useful that you want to keep using it? And it will prompt you to download a cheat sheet or watch a free training. There are ways of generating leads. There are ways of you becoming a lead if you choose from using the custom GPT, but it's not behind an opt-in. I don't want you to have to give me your email address just to use it. I just want you to use it. Like, I just want it to actually be useful for you. And what's cool about this is I can add to the GPT. I can retrain it. I can give it more material, more information. And every time you go to start a new chat with YouTubeify your business custom GPT, it'll be updated on that information. And that's pretty cool. But maybe I'm alone in this. I don't know. I'll put a link to my YouTubeify your business custom GPT. It's completely free. I don't even think you need to have a paid ChatGPT account to use it. But it's there. Use it. Let me know what you think. I mean, it sure beats like an ebook that nobody's going to download or read, right? The fifth focus that I've been keeping my eye on and I'm absolutely fascinated by is the availability of no-code apps like something built with like Lovable or Base 64, even MindPal agents, but you're not really like creating an app necessarily. But I think maybe you could connect them to an app. I'm not totally sure. I'm fascinated by this because this is another area where you can create something really useful for your clients and customers or for your audience that you created. Like one of the, I guess, tent poles of my thoughts for this video is the fact that everything I'm talking about is you created it. You trained it. It's trained on you. It's trained on your content, your intellectual property. Like it's trained on your messaging. It's trained even on your offers and what you have to offer and sell in your business. And these tools like Lovable, for example, where you just tell it what you want it to build and it builds it. I mean, I don't think it's quite that simple, but it is basically that simple. There are people who are building entire businesses on software and apps that they didn't code. They used tools like Lovable. And I'm fascinated by this. I don't have anything that I'm in particular working on at this moment, but one of the reasons that I'm not using something like Lovable is because I have my VBA branded app, right? So it's a mobile app. I'm not going to go out and create something that I already have, right? So that's why I put my channel analyzer that I made with MindPal. I embedded that into an app that already exists. And it's taking like basically all of my willpower to not open up Lovable and like start building something because it's fascinating to me. I love the idea as a solo business owner, as an online business owner who, if you're anything like me, what you are doing is helping people achieve some specific result, some desired result, some kind of a transformation in your business. And the way that we've been doing that, since like the beginning of the internet is through information and tools like Lovable and MindPal and custom GPTs and internal automations and things like that are really helping us to find ways to kind of breed a new way of helping people. That's part information, part automation, part software. And I'm here for it. Obviously, I can't predict the future, but I think as solo business owners, as content creators, I think if we think outside the box and look outside the box at making sure that we stay and become even more discoverable through GEO, generative engine optimization, build that body of work tied to your name. use internal tools and internal automations, incorporate AI and AI tools and GPTs into your digital products, courses, programs, memberships, and use those tools as methods of lead generation and creating lead magnets, and look at no-code tools like Lovable, for example, and MindPal as ways of, again, bridging the information, the education, and the software to actually help the people that you're here to help better, faster, and more fun. I'm amazed at what we can do, at what just one nerdy person obsessed with AI can do. And I've actually been dying to create this episode where I just get to sit here and tell you about all of the fun AI things that I've been playing with and working on and creating. And if you want to hear more about this, if you want to learn more about creating agents and tools and things with MindPal, let me know in the comments or shoot me an email, because I think this is maybe one of the most underutilized available tools out here for online business owners. And I know I gave you some homework in this episode. So I want you to download the VBA app and use the channel analyzer. You can see in real time how something that is created with MindPal and embedded into an app can be actually useful for people. So that might give you some ideas of something you could create on your own with MindPal. And also use the YouTubify Your Business GPT. Save it to your ChatGPT sidebar and let me know how it goes for you. See if you can break it. I think you're really going to love it. And I have some other ideas and things to program into it. So save it to your sidebar and use it.